Hello everyone. Last time we have started with this chapter. We have completed physical properties of group 16, 17 and 18. Today we are going to learn about the chemical properties of these elements. 17 and 18 elements. So first we'll begin with group 16 elements. As you know, the valence shell electronic configuration is what? Ns2 np4. So there are 2 electrons in the S shell and 4 electrons in the P shell. So oxidation state is simple. Either it can gain 2 electrons or by sharing 2 electrons. So it attains noble gas configuration. So oxidation state helps to gain stability by attaining noble gas configuration. So over here it can be done by gaining 2 electrons or by sharing 2 electrons. Okay, so hopefully you understood. Now, so they show -2 and +2 oxidation states. So what did they show? These elements normally show -2 and +2 oxidation states. But other than this thing, each element will show some other oxidation states as well. So first we will see for oxygen. Oxygen, since it is highly electronegative. Electronegative means it has a capacity to take the electron, shared pair of electron, okay, from others, and therefore the common oxidation state of oxygen is -2. Remember, the common oxidation state, if it is asked of oxygen, it will be -2. Now what does this minus and plus refer to? Minus means whenever the element will gain electron is said to be minus, and whenever it gives away the electron, then we write down plus. Okay, so please remember this thing, which is very important. Now as we will see, oxygen is highly electronegative, common oxidation state of -2, except 2 cases. In OF2, here it is +2. Why? Because fluorine is more electronegative than oxygen. That's the reason over here oxygen is having +2, or else in all the molecules it will be always negative for oxygen. Next is peroxides, like hydrogen peroxide and sodium peroxide. So it is H2O2 and Na2O2. Over here it is -1. So please do remember, oxygen, the common oxidation state is -2, except 2 cases. One with OF2 it is +2, and with peroxides it is having -1. The other elements of group 16 show +2, +4 and +6 oxidation state, but the common oxidation state will be +4 and +6. So if it is asked the common oxidation state of group 16 other than oxygen, it will be +4 and +6. Now next, the stability of higher, that is +6 oxidation state, decreases down the group. That means if I am talking about group 16 elements, so down the group what will happen? The stability of +6 will decrease, and while the stability of the lower oxidation state, that is +4, increases down the group. What is the reason behind that thing? Due to inert pair effect. Now what is inert pair effect? It is nothing but down the group what will happen? They will have D shell. Okay, D shell will be there, D and F shell will be there. As a result, they are having poor shielding effect. These orbitals have poor shielding effect. As a result, what will happen? The nuclear charge affected by the last electron will be more. That means at down the group they will hold the Ns2 electron. As a result, the +4 oxidation state will be more over there. So hopefully it is understood what is inert pair effect. So always in the oxidation state, the stability is more for the down one. Always the reason behind that thing will be inert pair effect. Okay, next one, the bonding in +4 and +6 oxidation states are primarily covalent. Okay, so these are all about oxidation state of group 16. Now we'll move on with the oxidation state of group 17 elements. The valence shell electronic configuration for group 17 element is ns2np5. Okay, so they can attain noble gas configuration by gaining one electron or by sharing one electron. As you know that p orbital, the maximum of electron which they can take is 6. Okay, and you know, the valency is 1 for halogens. Okay, so all halogens therefore will be showing the oxidation state of -1. Now as you can see there, chlorine, bromine and iodine will show some other oxidation states like +1, +3, +5 and +7. Now this is because they are less electronegative than fluorine and has empty d orbital in the valence shell. Therefore they can expand the octet. The oxidation states of +4 and +6 are shown by oxides and oxoacids of chlorine and bromine. So understand, +4 and +6 are shown by oxides and oxoacids of chlorine and bromine. Next one, fluorine, they don't have any d orbital in the valence shell. Therefore they cannot expand its octet, being most electronegative. Therefore they are having -1 oxidation state. So hopefully the oxidation state of halogens are cleared. Now we'll move on with the group 18 elements. The valence shell electronic configuration for group 18 elements are ns2np6. So as you can see, ns2np6 means they are completely filled orbitals. Therefore they don't have any tendency to gain or lose electrons. They are said to be zero valent. Therefore they are normally monoatomic gases. Now there is one exception over here, xenon. Xenon, as it is the having large atomic size and lower ionization enthalpy compared to helium, neon, argon and krypton, they exhibit higher oxidation states as it has d orbitals. So some of the molecules are given over there and its oxidation state. So first one, XeF2, the oxidation state of xenon is +2. Next, XeFO, the oxidation state is +4. For XeF6, the oxidation state is +6. XeO3, the oxidation state is +6. And XeOO4, the oxidation state of xenon is +6. Okay, so they can ask you, they will give any of the examples and ask you to write down the oxidation state of each one. Okay, so next we'll move on to the chemical reactivity towards hydrogen. So for group 16 elements, they react with hydrogen to form hydrides. Always remember, group 16 elements react with hydrogen to give hydrides. That means of the type H2E, where E is the element of group 16 elements, that is oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Okay, so the example will be this simple. You just have to replace E by the element. So if it is replaced by oxygen, it is H2O. So similarly, it will be H2S, H2SE, H2TE and H2PO. Okay, now some properties. H2O is colorless, odorless liquid, while the rest are colorless, bad smelling, poisonous gases at ambient condition. And all the hydrides are having angular structure and they are said to be having sp3 hybridization. Okay, and these hydrides are weakly acidic and they increases the acidic property, while thermal stability decreases from H2O to H2TE due to decrease in the bond dissociation enthalpy. So this can be asked in give reason. Okay, next, all hydrides except H2O possess reducing property which increases in the order H2S is less than H2SE less than H2TE. Okay, so hopefully it is understood. Next we'll move on to group 17 elements. So they react with hydrogen to give hydrogen halides, whereas group 16 gives hydrides. So remember, group 16 it gives hydrides, whereas group 17 elements give hydrogen halides. So the general reaction is written: H2 plus X2 gives 2HX, where X is given as fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Remember, normally we represent halogens by X2. X is a representation for halogens. Okay, so the acidic strength of halogen acids increases in the order. It is given down which is the strongest acid, then Hi is the strongest acid and Hf is the weakest acid. The reason is given. What is the reason? It is due to decreasing bond dissociation enthalpy of HX bond. In the order Hf, that means the bond between Hf is more stronger. As a result, the H is not easily given, because we know that what is acid? The ease with which it can give the H plus ion is said to be acidic in nature. So over here Hi will easily give the H plus ions. Therefore it is said to be the strongest acid, whereas Hf is the weakest acid. Okay. Next, the thermal stability of hydrogen halides decrease in the order. Hf is more thermally stable as compared to HCl. HCl is more thermally stable as compared to HBr and Hi. So I can say, out of this four, which is more thermally stable? It is Hf. Okay, so similar reason, due to the decrease in the bond dissociation enthalpy of Hx down the group. Okay, so now we'll see for group 18 elements. Remember, we are talking about the reactivity with hydrogen. So it is said that group 18 elements are chemically inert towards hydrogen due to their stable electronic configuration. That means they are not going to react with hydrogen. Next, we will see the reactivity towards oxygen of group 16, 17 and 18 elements. So first we will begin with group 16 elements. So group 16 elements are nothing but what? Oxygen family. So oxygen itself, we are talking about the reactivity towards oxygen. So that means we will be talking about the reactivity towards oxygen with rest of the elements in group 16. Okay, now it forms oxides of the type EO2 and EO3, where E is equal to S, SeTe or PO, that is sulfur, selenium, tellurium or polonium. Okay, so first we will talk about EO2 type oxides. So they are ozone, sulfur dioxide are gases, while selenium dioxide is solid, and all are acidic in nature and they react with water to form acids. So the reactions are given. Sulfur dioxide reacting with water will give me sulfurous acid, that is H2SO3. Please understand, it is SO3. Next is selenium dioxide reacting with water, it will give me selenous acid. So it is H2SeO3. Now the next point, reducing property of dioxides decreases from SO2 to TeO2. That means SO2 is reducing while TeO2 serves as an oxidizing agent. Next we will talk about EO3 type acids. They are SO3, SeO3, TeO3. Again all are acidic in nature. They dissolve in water to form acids. So SeO3 plus water will give me H2SeO4, that is selenic acid. Similarly TeO3 plus H2O will give me H6TeO6, that is called as telluric acid. Now for group 17 elements, they form many oxides with oxygen, but most of them are unstable. So first one, fluorine. Fluorine forms OF2 and O2F2. In this thing, OF2 is thermally stable at 298 Kelvin. Both are said to be fluorinating agents. O2F2 oxidizes plutonium to PuF6 and the reaction is used in removing plutonium as PuF6 from spent nuclear fuel. Now we will be seeing chlorine oxides. Chlorine oxides, they are Cl2O, ClO2 Cl2O6 and Cl2O7. They are said to be highly reactive oxidizing agents and tend to explode. Among these things, ClO2 is used as bleaching agent for paper pulp and textiles and in water treatment. Next, bromine oxides. They are Br2O, BrO2 and BrO3. They are said to be the least stable halogen oxides as they form middle row anomaly. They are very powerful oxidizing agents. Next one, iodine oxides. They are I2O4, I2O5 and I2O7. They are said to be insoluble solids and decompose on heating. Among this thing, I2O5 is a very good oxidizing agent and used for the estimation of carbon monoxide. And the last one, higher oxides are more stable than lower ones. So please do remember this thing. Next one is group 18 elements. They are said to be chemically inert and they do not directly react with oxygen. Next, we'll learn about reactivity towards halogens. So, first we'll talk about group 16 elements. They react with halogens to give large number of halides of the type EX6, EX4 and EX2, where E is the element, that is S, Se, Te. Now, first one we'll talk about hexahalides. They are SF6, SCF6 and TeF6. They are said to be colorless gas and their hybridization is sp3d2 and the shape or the geometry is octahedral. So octahedral means sulfur, for example, for SF6, sulfur will be the central atom and in 6 corners fluorine will be there. And SF6 is exceptionally stable for steric reasons. And the stability of halides decreases in the order. Fluorides are said to be more stable as compared to chlorides, then bromides and iodides. That means we can say that fluorides are said to be more stable and iodides are said to be the least stable halides. Next one, tetrahalides. Tetrahalides, the examples are SF4, SCF4, TeF4 and TeCl4, and they are having sp3 hybridization. Their geometry is trigonal bipyramidal and one equatorial position is occupied by lone pair. Next is dihalides. The examples are SCl2, SeCl2 and TeCl2. The hybridization over here is sp3 and the geometry is tetrahedral with two equatorial positions occupied by lone pairs. And the last one, monohalides. Monohalides, the examples are S2F2, S2Cl2, Se2Cl2 and SeBr2. They are said to be dimeric in nature and these dimeric halides undergo disproportionation reaction. That is, one example is given over here, 2SC2Cl2 will give me SeCl4 plus 3 Se. Remember, we are talking about the reactivity towards halogens. So groups 17 elements are the halogens. So halogens will combine with themselves to form a number of compounds known as interhalogen compounds. Okay, this we'll be learning in detail later. So we'll see the types. They are XX dash, XX dash 3, XX dash 5, XX dash 7, where X is the halogen atom with larger size and X dash is the halogen atom with smaller size. Next, reactivity towards halogens for group 18 elements. They are said to be chemically inert, but krypton and xenon react directly with fluorine to give their fluorides. So one reaction is given below. Xenon reacting with fluorine at 673 Kelvin and 1 atmosphere pressure will give me XeF2. And this xenon fluorides, some examples like XeF2, XeF4 and XeF6 are crystalline and colorless, and they sublime readily at 298 Kelvin, and they are said to be powerful fluorinating agents. Next, we'll see the reactivity towards metal. We'll see for group 16 elements. Group 16 elements means they are said to be oxygen family. So these elements react with metals to form corresponding compounds. So some examples are given below. Aluminium react with oxygen to form Al2O3, that is aluminium oxide. Copper reacting with sulfur will give me copper sulfide, CuS, and magnesium reacting with selenium will give me magnesium selenide, that is MgSe. Next, we'll see the reactivity of halogens towards metals. So they react with metals instantly to give metal halides. So some examples are given. Sodium reacting with chlorine will give me NaCl. So it is given as 2Na plus Cl2 gives me 2NaCl. So after writing the reaction, please do remember to balance all the reaction. Next one, magnesium reacting with Br2, that is bromine, will give me magnesium bromide, that is MgBr2. Okay, next, the ionic character of halides decrease in the order. It is given as metal fluorides are more ionic in nature as compared to metal iodides. Okay, so hopefully you understood where M is written as monovalent metal. Last one, metal halides having metals in their higher oxidation states are more covalent than the ones having metals in the lower oxidation state. That means SnCl4 will be more covalent than SnCl2. So higher oxidation state means over there the oxidation state of tin is Sn plus 4, and for SnCl2 the oxidation state of tin is Sn plus 2. So which is having higher oxidation state? SnCl4. In that, Sn is having plus 4 oxidation state, that is a higher oxidation state. Therefore it will be more covalent as compared to SnCl2. Similarly, for PbCl4 and PbCl2, which will be more covalent, it will be PbCl4, as Pb is in the plus 4 oxidation state over here. Okay, so like that, SbCl5 and SbCl3, which will be more covalent, SbCl5, and for UF6 and UF4, which will be more covalent, it will be UF6. So hopefully you understood this thing. Last one, the reactivity of group 18 elements towards metals. So they do not react with metals as they are said to be chemically inert in nature. Okay, so hopefully you understood this thing. Please do write and practice each of the reaction and try to balance it by yourself and afterwards check. Okay, because half marks is given for balancing it and half marks for the reaction. Okay, so next time we'll start with allotropy forms. Okay then, bye.